Welcome to Exchange Server Administration, demonstration of configuring custom domain and Azure AD Connect. In this video, we will add a custom domain techijack.live to Microsoft 365, and then we will verify the domain by adding text record, and then we will install the Azure AD Connect, and finally we will synchronize the desired users to Microsoft 365. So let's move and get started. So right now we are on our Microsoft 365 admin center, and if we go to the active user, we have a 2 user previously created. So now the time is to add our custom domain. So you can see inside the settings, you will get that option, that domain. When we click on this domain, here you can see the default domain that is provided by the Microsoft.onmicrosoft.com. That is a default domain, but we want to use techijack.live. We have to just click on add domain, and I will type the name of the domain, that is techijack.live, and I will say use this domain. Now it says that how do you want to verify your domain? Either you can just log into your hosting provider, that is a Cloudflare, or you can add a text record, or if you can't add a text record, add a MX record or add a text file to the domain website. The easiest way I think is that to add a text record. Right now we don't have to add the MX record because we don't want to route our email through the Microsoft 365. I will just click on add a text record to my DNS and will say continue. Now it's saying that you have to verify the domain. You have to create a text name record. The value will be this. TTL will be 3600. So let me copy this and I will go to my DNS record and I will say add a record, that is a text record. So this is a text record and the value is ms equal to ms and there is a number. Here you have to type the @ for the root domain and we'll click on save this record. Now the record has been saved. Let's try to verify the record. Let me click on verify. Now the text record has been verified and we have a next step, that how do you want to connect your domain. The recommended option is that let Microsoft add your DNS record, but I don't want to do this. Add your own DNS record or skip and do this later. Let's see this option, add your own DNS record. Let me click on continue. Here we have an option for MX record, CNAME record and text record. This is for the SPF. This we have a CNAME record for the auto discover. This is a MX record for our incoming email. Right now we don't want our email to be routed through the Microsoft 365. We will leave this, and neither we want to change the auto discover. But what we can do, we can just add this SPF record which says that include this thing. So let me copy this and let's add it to our SPF record. We'll click on save. If we go and click on continue, it will check for the DNS which is completed or which is not completed. So right now you can see the text record here. The SPF record is correct, others are invalid because we haven't made any changes to our auto discover. Actual is going to the mail.techijack.live and the actual MX record is also going to the mail.techijack.live. We have made this change and this is correct. If you want to see the advanced option, this is for the Skype for Business and Intune and mobile device. Let me close this and we can do that later. So here you can see the techijack.live is now a default domain. Status is incomplete setup. So we have verified the domain and we have added the SPF record in our DNS. Now let's go to the domain controller and try to run the Azure AD Connect. Now we are inside the domain controller, that is DC01. It's not necessary to run the AD Connect through the DC. You can have a different server joined to the domain controller. From there you can also run the Azure AD Connect. But I'm running it from the DC computer. So let me click on run. I have downloaded it from this website, Azure AD Connect download, and I have clicked on this link and I have downloaded it from here, Microsoft Azure Active Directory Connect. So here is the wizard. I agree to the license and click on continue. You can customize the thing from here. Click on install. Azure Active Directory Connect is being installed now. So now it's asking for the user sign in, password hash synchronization, pass through authentication, federation or do not configure. I will say password hash synchronization, and we will also enable a single sign on and we'll click on next. It's asking for the AD account, that is Azure AD account. I have given the credential of my Microsoft 365 account, asking for email and the password. Now the account is logged into the Azure AD and it's examining the domain. Here you can see the Active Directory. The forest is techijack.inside. It says that no directories are currently configured. add active directory. So I will say create a new AD account, and that is TechiJack administrator, and I will give the password for that administrator. We'll click on OK. Configure directory is techijack.inside. Let me click on next. It's retrieving the directory schema and it's now examining it. So I will select this continue without matching all UPN suffix to verified domains, and will click on next. And here it says that sync all domains and OU. If you select this option, that means complete domain will be synchronized. But if you want to do a custom selection, you can select this option and you can expand this, and here you see your Active Directory structure. I don't want to move everything. I just want to move our HR, sales, IT admins. I just want to synchronize these OU, that is HR OU, IT admins and sales. I'm not synchronizing the management OU. So let me click on next. So I will say the mail attribute, that is fine. Select how user should be identified with Azure AD. Let the Azure manage the source anchor. That option is fine with me, and the mail attribute is fine. So let's click on next. Let me choose the default option and let's click on next. Here we have an option Exchange Hybrid Deployment. So we want to do a Exchange Hybrid Deployment. I will check this box, Exchange Hybrid Deployment, and you have a public folder, you can check that as well. So right now we don't have a public folder, so I'm not checking that, and let me click on next. It's asking for the credentials. Let me put the credentials. Click on OK. Click on next. Checking for installed components. Start the synchronization process when configuration completes. Let me click on install. You can see it's enabling the single sign-on. And if we see the Microsoft 365 Admin Center, you can see the on-premises directory synchronization, which is running here, and you can see there inside the Microsoft Admin Center syncing is going on. So now the configuration has been completed, and it says that you can now log into the Azure or Office 365 portal to verify that user account from your local directory have been created. So let me click on exit from here and let's try to verify that. If I go and refresh it here, you can see the active users are now came from my on-premises Active Directory to the Microsoft 365, and they are unlicensed. Now you can see that we have synchronized all the desired user we want. But if you notice one thing, Jack and Joe, they have a domain name as techijack.live, and the other user like Mandy and John, they have a default domain of onmicrosoft.com. Why it is that? Let me show you. If you see the Mandy mailbox, you can see the UPN name is not set as a techijack.live, and for the Joe, you can see it is set as a techijack.live, and for Jack it is set as a techijack.live as well. So the user principal name plays an important role. When you are migrating your user to Microsoft 365, you can set the user principal name to the desired name which you want as a default domain. We have successfully synchronized our user which we want to migrate to the Microsoft 365. I will rerun the Azure AD and will change all the user principal name to techijack.live. That's it for this video, and in our next video we will run the Exchange Hybrid configuration. So let's meet in the next video.